Hello, hello. Peace. Afternoon. Morgen. Anfrel. Come on in. Just having some time to myself to kind of sit outside and think about what's happened. Had enough time to calm down with getting my hair done today and getting this little self-care treatment and sitting amongst nature. Still kind of tied to the city, but nature nonetheless. So to get straight to the point in regards to the title, somebody tried to scam me. But it wasn't like a typical, hit you up in your email out of the blue with no prompts, going, oh, I'm the king of such and such, or prince, or, I need your help, or you've got, the one popular ones these days, call about your car, extended warranty to a car I don't even own. But, basically, I have been looking for a second job. Like everybody else, I was affected by COVID, and I tried, because I was so desperate, I tried sticking to a job that was not healthy for me. And I'm not going to name the place of employment in case, something goes wrong, but rhymes with schmoes. But basically, it affected my health so bad that I had to take time off. I was shaking, I couldn't go outside. It was just a bunch of health stuff. So I looked for alternate employment, and now I have a decent job. I'm a copywriter now. And while it pays well and it's definitely good, you still need that secondary income because, capitalism and rising house prices and rising prices in general, and yet no rising of income. But that's a totally separate conversation. And so I'm basically applying for jobs. Like, I love you too. Hey. But, thank you for joining me. But yeah, I've tried to apply for so many different places that fit within the realm of what I'm looking for in regards to a job right now. And one of the places I applied for hit me back. And they did, send me an email, and it was a little weird. It was very wordy. There was a whole bunch of questions that were prompting, but one of the signature things that stuck out to me was talking about me having to come out of pocket to purchase some things for them, but that I'd be reimbursed through my hourly pay and covering what I'd have to pay for them. Basically making purchases on their behalf and sending me a check as a method of payment. And for those who may not know, a lot of places, even small businesses, I've been told, and I mean, it's true, I'm working for a small business right now, and it's just straight to my bank. It's direct deposit. And so I was already getting warning signals. I was already noticing the red flags, but just to be sure, because, I had not been a personal assistant, at least as far as official titles go. I have not been a personal assistant. I have not been a virtual assistant as of yet, but I do have the skills to pursue that job. But because this is a new area for me, I wanted to be sure, I wanted to see if it was normal or not. Hey, how you doing? So yeah, I ended up putting the post on Networking Women of the Triangle. It was a really good support group, and another group on Facebook, business owners, just to kind of see if anybody else had worked those positions and if this was actually normal, especially, post-COVID. A lot of things have changed due to, COVID. And it turns out that my intuition was indeed correct, as it is pretty much 98% of the time. My gut was right. It was a scam. And it was just a huge disappointment to me. And not only was it a waste of my time, or to anyone else who had possibly applied for this job, but it's also irritating because everybody's already in such a desperate position. Everybody's, kind of going through hard times right now. It's even affecting rich people. I know it's hard to see it because, the top 1%, they flying off into space and stuff like that. But they're not flying off into space for no reason. Everybody wants off this rock because of how hectic it is right now. And it's so sad to see that people are trying to take advantage of us at our most desperate moments. It's disappointing and it's gross. And I'm so glad that I at least had the intuition to, hello, anyone who's joining. I'm so glad that I had the intuition to see that it was a scam, to see that that something was wrong. And I even showed it to my younger brother because I wanted him to be aware of just, the methods that these people are using, because anybody young or anybody who's perhaps not familiar with the way things work now, or who may just be entering the workforce, because I've read posts about recently divorced women and men, recently divorced people, people just entering the job market, graduates, young students, young kids trying to find work, and most of the time we do that online. A lot of things are done online these days, and it makes me wonder just how many people who are already in desperate situations thought and trusted it, thought that this may be okay, or how something was being done, and ended up getting conned. And I really felt like I had to come on here and talk about that, to let people know, what's going on in the world right now. And especially since so many people are talking about employment and talking about, working, trying to find work, or that people, are too lazy to find work, or they're not seeking out work. People are seeking out work. We do want to work, but we want to be treated well. We want to be paid appropriately for our services, a living wage, okay? A living wage to meet the demands that are around our places of work. But also, we just want to be treated like human beings. And nobody deserves to be conned like that when they're already searching for it. But these are the obstacles that we're facing. Employers who know that we're desperate, so desperate that we will work for such meager means, because where else can we go? So they're already depending on that. And then we're also dealing with these scammers who are just everywhere. They're coming out of the woodwork. They're everywhere. They're on LinkedIn, they're on Indeed, and they're on Facebook. ZipRecruiter. I got a lot of them through ZipRecruiter. But that's not the only thing that kind of weighs on my mind. It's not just the employment people that are doing scams. It's also places available for rent. A lot of people think when they think of the scams probably tied to renting or anything like that, everybody's worried about sex trafficking. Justly so. But also, you have to deal with people taking money from you when you do your rental applications. Because most of the time, most people don't think to really tour, especially if there's virtual tours available. to go and see the property. And that's kind of what I was faced with one of the places that we were going to apply to. But I was kind of a step ahead in regards to asking to tour the property. And definitely sticking with that. And if anybody's watched up to this point who's looking or new to renting, whether you're like a college kid or high school kid, tour the property first in person. Make sure you can. Because if we hadn't, and if I had paid that fee, it would have been a waste of money because it was a con. Let me explain. We were looking for a place to live, and one of the properties, or let me talk about two of them actually, because both of them were trash. Scheduled a day to tour to go out and see, and the first property, I ended up getting the addresses mixed up, so we ended up going to the second place first, and it was not safe. It was far away from people. It was definitely a ways away from a bus stop, because that's what I used to get around, is buses and Uber and cabs. So that place was trash, and definitely not a place for my nephew. If my nephew and my sister was going to be staying with me, that was not a safe place to have a 2-year-old. And then the second place we went to, we thought we had a tour. Okay. Second place we went to looked nice. The pictures were nice, and it was near a busy street, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. The rent was within our means, so we went to go to. I called ahead of time. A woman answered the phone, and she was very nice. She was respectable. Sounded like an official place. I even think I heard like phones or stuff in the background. Like, she was just like, "Yes, hi, you want a tour? Okay, yeah, sure. What day? What time? And just to let you know, we are doing a reduced fee for what did she say? Reduced fee for first-time applicants or applications in general, where we are now only charging $25 or like $10. It was like $10 to $25, and that was the reduced fee for the application fee." Which, you know, given the other previous applications that I had signed, you know, only one of them was free, and the other was like $35 to $40. It was ridiculous. $50 actually, but I got a refund on that. That one at least was official. But yeah, the woman, it sounded like a legit place. It seemed like a legit place. So didn't think that there was anything shady coming along. So we show up the day of. We pull up, and we walk to the front door, and we knock on the door, and a guy comes up. And already I think this is a little weird, because I see furniture and stuff inside, and in my mind I'm going over the application, or the information that was provided, and it didn't say anything about being fully furnished. So he comes to the door, and he looks very confused. And we're just like, "Hey, we're here for the tour." And he's just like, "What?" What tour? And we're just like, we called ahead, this place is for rent. We're here to look through the place. And he was just like, "This place is not for rent." I think you guys just got scammed there with this. We just moved into this place. We just settled into this place, and have not had any complaints from the person who, the leasers, the company that leases the place, and we have to go through them in order to rent out this place. So, place is not for rent. Yeah. Oh, I just say we were very upset that day. That was very frustrating, and again, a waste of time. And when I tried to call back, nobody was picking up this time. So I'm thinking maybe they put my phone number as to, like, you know, keep an eye out for this one. Because the place, like the company, everything that I heard the first time, it's like it didn't even exist after this point. It was maddening. But that is what we're dealing with right now. In case you happen to be one of the few people who is happily employed at the moment, or happily housed and not facing problems, this is, you know, I know it's difficult with all the rhetoric and stuff on the news and on social media, you know, like yelling back and forth and frustrations, you know, but there's a reason for that, and I just want you guys to understand and not believe the hype in regards to people not looking for work. People are out here getting scammed. And most of these job opportunities, you know, now we have to proceed with an air of caution, especially if it sounds too good to be true. Even if you are one of the few employers that offers, you know, great pay, rates, all this other stuff, people might even be wary of applying to your place of business because of the situationships we're facing right now. You know, whether it's job hunting or apartment hunting or room hunting, you know, because housing is ridiculous. Like, it's all a lot right now. And if you happen to be like me going through it, just know you're not alone. And that is going to be okay. I know it doesn't feel okay, but you're going to be okay. And just keep your head up. Take a moment to breathe. Center yourself. Drink some water. Do something that makes you happy. Ow! How dare you? Ants. Biting and pinching me. You in my shoe. Nobody told you to crawl on me. Oh my God, what the hell? Did I step on an anthill? No, I did not. I did not step on an anthill. I think I'm just in the way of tracking. But yeah, that's what everyone's dealing with right now. And yeah, just know you're not alone. And I know it's hard to be okay at this point in time, but you will be. And know that you have the power at the end of the day. They'll try and make you forget it, but don't you forget it. You are the one with the power, especially if you're an essential worker. You set the precedent. And you need to take whatever steps are needed and necessary for the sake of your mental health and physical health. And no employer, no big company, no politician has the right to tell you that you can't, or that you're going to upset the social order if you do. The social order needs to be reset. Because too many people are burnt out, too many people are suffering, and now too many people have lost. Too many people have lost their lives, their livelihood, because of scammers and because of people who are giving attention to a false narrative and who are acting selfishly. But you don't have to be one of those people, and you don't have to put yourself at the mercy of one of those people. I thought I did. I thought I had to. I thought that if I just kept pushing, everything would be okay. I ignored the screams and cries from my body. I ignored the signs, and it ended up costing me dearly. But you know what? In retrospect, it was probably the best thing that happened to me, because if it didn't, I probably would have crashed and burned a lot harder than I did. And that's not okay. But now I work a job that I actually like. I'm seeking employment to find another job that I can actually like, because it is possible. And it doesn't have to be this big grand thing, or, you know, finding one of those rare positions of, in a bank or in a hospital or in a Hollywood. You can do it. So if your body's crying for you to take some time away from work or to leave a toxic place, do it. Listen. Listen to your gut. Listen to your body. Because if you don't, you will crash. You crash like I did, or you will die. And it's not worth it. Especially for places that replace you like that. Even when you technically haven't quit yet. Like my place of previous employment. Within a few weeks, job opening. Now granted, we constantly looking for cashiers and stuff like that, but at the time I think we had filled some of our seasonal positions. So you know, they're not worried about you. You need to worry about you. You need to put yourself first. Put your health first. Your body will thank you, and at the end of the day, at the end of the month probably, you will thank you. I feel this so much. I'm here for you, girl. Take whatever steps you need to take to make sure that you're not going to be in a worse position if you do have to leave. But leave. Do what's right for you. Do what's good for your health. I was told to at least have a plan, at least have a place of employment ready in order to quit, and that wasn't set up by the time my body cried out. Instead, I chose to be vulnerable in a supportive space, and that is what landed me the job I have now. I chose to be honest and reach out, and I'm not very trusting. People I know will tell me that I'm not very, that I'm kind of weary of certain things, so it was a really huge thing for me to do that, and I reached out my hand, and thankfully somebody was there to grab it. I about hit rock bottom. Oh, I want to give you a hug. We should talk personally later. Let you vent, or just distraction. But yeah, do it. Do what's best for you. You never know what's going to come your way. Maybe something you hadn't even considered before. Check it out. Like I said with the support routing, I'm in a local Facebook group called Networking Women of the Triangle. And if it weren't for me deciding to enter that group and stick with that group, despite some of the posts that had been shared before and some of the views of certain posters, if I hadn't stuck with it, I wouldn't have the job I have right now. So doing something new or getting involved in a community that is, that can help you. Find a community that's not a cult that will work for you. Even if it's just something simple as something like artsy. Because even through that, I ended up finding a group of people that has helped me emotionally. I'm going into therapy again. Like it's you taking steps to do so and battle the scams and terrible situations that are going on around us. You can do it. It's not going to feel like you can. I know better. I know. Suffer from chronic depression, believe me. I know. You'll feel fine 1 second, and then something bad happens, and then something else happens, and it's like a snowball effect, and there's no end in sight. You don't feel good. You don't think it's going to go well. You lay in bed for days. You don't leave the house. I know. Which is why taking little steps are going to be okay. Take little steps and acknowledge those little steps. Because in retrospect, they're not so little. You know, whether it's just drinking water or eating a couple times more that day. You know? Sorry, there's just ants crawling. All up in my pants, all up in my crack. Oh my god. They stopped attacking my shoes and, oh wait, no they didn't. Yeah. Maybe I should move. But yeah, yeah, you're gonna be okay. You can do it. Take care of yourself and acknowledge the small wins. Whether it's drinking water or reading a page of a book, you know. Set a small little game plan. Just something that you can accomplish. Realistic expectations. Not something grand. You know, don't look at social media and see all these people who seem to be making these big strides. There were, especially if they're like myself, who really do suffer from anxiety and depression. Don't, you know, look at them and compare yourself to them. Don't compare your progress to them. Check your own progress and acknowledge your own successes. You'll feel better that way. But yeah, basically I came on here just to tell people be wary and be careful of the scams going on and know the scams. Acknowledge the scams that's going on over here. Did I step? Yeah, there's no anthill. There's no holes that I could see. But yeah, just be wary of that. Be wary of the hand sanitizer salesman in the world. The gross sanitizer. Oh. Yeah, the people who are trying to pull the scams these days, they're not all desperate like we are. They're feeding on people who are desperate like us. Scammers of this world look pretty darn good. Whereas the people who are really in need, you know, the people out here who are really struggling are having to pay the price for these gross, disgusting parasites. But yeah, I had to get that off my mind, so I'm sorry if this whole thing seems scrambled. But I just wanted to leave you guys with that. You know, stay aware, stay safe, be careful, take care of yourself. And you know what? Because we were talking about doing things for your health, I'm going to tell you guys a little mantra that came to me that's like saved my life, and you know, that came to me in a moment where I really kind of needed some zen. When I was in school, back when I was still on campus, and I had a moment alone, and I felt really, really low. You know, kind of a little saying came into my head, and since then, I've said it at times where I've needed strength, and it's helped me. So, I don't know, maybe it'll help you guys. So, what I would tell myself, I'll just either, like, just center. You don't necessarily even have to look in a mirror, but if that's your thing, go for it. You just take a beat. You can either look out at nature or just have a moment for yourself and just say, I am smart, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am light. You are strong, you are smart, you are beautiful, and you are light. And that's all I'm going to say for today. I wish you well. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to put this on my YouTube. I'm going to upload this to YouTube, and in case anybody wants to watch it there. Hey, I'm gonna upload it there because I need to get away from these ants. They're becoming a bit more aggressive. Tried to sit in nature. See, I try to connect with nature, and nature just attacks me every time. Swarms me. But yes, I wish you well, and just stay safe, be careful, and take care of yourself. You're strong, you're smart, you're beautiful, you're light. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Till next time, peace and love. Bye. How do I end this?